Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two dudes with attitudes, yeah, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen and the best of the best. Came together on TikTok, hit it off from the jump, now they never gon' stop. Shooting star, PRS, you can hit the follow. My wrestling opinion is someone you should all know, and they call him MWO. Yeah, it's rich on the flow, and I thought you should know. Two dudes in the mood that be dropping the jewels. This is not for the fools, this is just how we do. Talking WWE, no one is touching the team. Cool, calm, collected, the methods will be. You can hit the 5 stars when it's time to rate on whatever platforms. Two dudes, get it straight, yeah.
All right. You're now tuned into the greatest two dudes with attitudes of wrestling podcast. As always, I'm Mr. MWO. And with me is that shiny, beautiful ginger next to me, the honorary dude, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's going on, my man?
Oh, man. It was a crazy week in wrestling. Crazy week. We got AEW drama. We got CM Punk doing his thing. We got WWE. Jey Uso's quitting. We got all kinds of craziness going on.
Yeah, we ain't even getting into Vince having more lawsuits and other things and whatever else was going on. But yes, sir, a lot of
Triple H isn't on the board anymore.
Yeah,
the new company. Yeah,
all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So what can you do? And it was kind of like a week in wrestling for both sides. I
thought so too.
I thought there was a lot of most of my things are misses. So, but this is the WWE edition as always. And let's start off. We're going to start off with a little bit of SmackDown. And it seems like, I love watching shows recorded. It's easier for me. I take notes. I can pause. I can get in the moment. I watch SmackDown live, and literally once again, going a whole week, I feel like I even forgot rewatching it. I'm like, oh man, all this stuff happened again. I forgot all this. It seems like so long ago that all these things happened. But I want to start off with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross has been feuding with AJ Styles, which seems like 4 months now, 3 months now. Seems like forever. Seems like an eternity. And Kross has lost over and over and over again. And this time, Karrion Kross decided to say that he was bringing some people with him, correct? I didn't misread that, right? He's bringing some people. No. He's got people coming that's going to help him. He wrestles AJ Styles and loses again. AJ Styles beats Karrion Kross again, and I didn't see no people. So here's my thing, right? A, what is the point of Karrion Kross here? What are we doing with him? Is he moving on? Is this like his last straw, and now these people are going to come and help him out? And is he going to continue with AJ Styles, or now is he over it? I mean, you can't keep wrestling the same guy that you're losing to all the time. And also, what does this do for AJ Styles? I mean, I know it's good for him to get some wins. He needs to get pushed. He can be in for a title match at any point on any title that he wants. But what is beating Karrion Kross for a 5th time doing for him? I don't know. I thought this match was, when it ended, I was like, eh. And there's not a lot of times where a wrestling match, and it happened twice. The two things I'm talking about, the match just ended, and I was like,
yeah,
like what? That's how you? So can be. And I'm not a professional booker, not trying to judge, but I thought this was whack, and I just don't understand the point of having Karrion Kross lose again, whether or not he's bringing, Bray Wyatt back with him. I'm just confused on what the point of this was.
I have no earthly idea. I thought this match was just, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't. I hate what they're doing to Karrion Kross, because I want the way they present him with all the backstage, the vignettes and the segments and the interviews and just all the craziness with the tarot cards and all that stuff with his girl Scarlett. It makes him think like, oh, this guy's a monster. This guy's credible. This guy's dangerous. He's somebody we should get behind. And then every week, it's wash, rinse, repeat with Karrion Kross. He goes out there and he loses. He goes out there and gets destroyed. I don't think he's won a feud since he's returned to WWE last year. I think he may have beaten Drew McIntyre once, but other than that, he hasn't won any. I think that was the only match he won.
Did he beat Ray? Or did he lose to Ray too?
I think he maybe beat Ray once and then Ray beat
lost,
him. Yeah. But it's just wash, rinse, repeat with Karrion Kross. You think maybe this is the time they're going to finally push him, and then he loses. And the other thing that I was confused about too was the OC came out with AJ Styles, and I kept waiting for after the match with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits and beat those guys down like they did a few weeks ago when they beat down Hit Row, and I think they beat down the OC as well. And
yes, they did.
This week it was just like, oh yeah, that happened, but we're not going to talk about it. It didn't happen. We're supposed to forget that. I kept waiting for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe those were the guys Karrion Kross was talking about. That he was bringing them because he's paying. That's the new Hurt business. He's putting bounties on people or something, and it was they were gonna take out the OC. But yeah, this whole thing was just really confusing. I didn't enjoy this match. I like AJ Styles, but I don't think this win does anything for him. I don't think he's not moving up the card anytime soon. It just felt like one of those matches where creative has nothing for either guy. So let's put them in something with each other and see what happens. And I don't think they're going to have a match at Payback. I don't think they're going to have a match at Fastlane. I don't think this makes AJ Styles the perennial favorite to win the Royal Rumble or anything.
Nope.
I don't think it does anything for
him. I also like that they didn't even do Cross's entrance.
Yeah.
They came back from commercial and Scarlett was there and and they even missed. Scarlett disappeared and then he didn't even come at first. So it was even a missed entrance, and that's the only real thing about him. So yeah.
Yeah, I had to go back and rewind it. I was like, did I miss his intro? Was it one of those intros where they do the intro and then they go to commercial and then they come back and they're in the ring? So I went back and I was like, no, he had no entrance whatsoever. It was all of it, just the entire presentation of it was not good whatsoever. For me, I thought SmackDown as a whole completely missed the entire episode. And another segment for me that missed is the Edge and Sheamus moment. Edge came out, he did his entrance, and then they cut to commercial for his, and then he comes back and he's still in the ring. And he basically talks about how next week in Toronto is his 25th anniversary in the WWE, which is pretty impressive. 9 of those years he was out hurt, but that's still, that he was hurt. He was legitimately hurt. So I'm not making fun of his injury or anything, but yeah, he's been in the WWE for 9 years or for 25 years next Friday or tomorrow, I guess, on SmackDown in Toronto. And he challenged Sheamus, of all people, to a one-on-one match. He wanted to wrestle somebody he's never fought. He wanted to go up against somebody he's never been against and somebody that he's, has mad respect for. And it was Sheamus. And, it's a cool rub for Sheamus, I think, but the segment itself just fell flat. Sheamus came out with Butch and Ridge Holland, the Brawling Brutes, and they served no purpose in the segment whatsoever. They didn't cut a promo. They didn't say anything. There was no beatdown of Edge afterwards or anything like that. It was, and then the talking. They showed pictures of Edge and Sheamus on bicycles. They showed videos of Edge wiping out on a bike, and apparently that was the moment he knew that he needed to come back to wrestling, and it was because of Sheamus and because he wiped out on a bike. And then they showed pictures of Sheamus on Edge's 6-year-old daughter's bike, and it was pink with handlebars and training wheels. That was funny, but it was just a very weird segment. And I love Edge. I love Sheamus. I think both of those guys are goats, and I think they're fantastic performers and wrestlers. And Sheamus especially is really underrated and very unappreciated for what he can do in the ring. But this segment, I don't think the crowd was as invested in it. It didn't seem like they got much of a reaction. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if this is truly the end of Edge, because there's been rumors that this is his last match coming up against Sheamus. But it just feels weird that he's going to retire on a random episode of SmackDown instead of doing the Edge retirement tour or going out on his terms for once and doing a match at a pay-per-view, at a big pay-per-view or something. But, to each his own. If this is how he wants to go out, it's been a great second run. But this segment just didn't do it for me. It felt weird. It was like Sheamus was trying to be a heel, but also trying to be a babyface. And then Edge was laughing at some of the things that Sheamus was saying. It was just, very, very awkward and very odd. And I have no doubt that these guys are going to put on a hell of a match on SmackDown. And I do think that there's going to be some shenanigans. And I think maybe somebody turns heel and beats down Edge after the match. Maybe Sheamus does. Or there's a big return coming, and that's going to be the next feud. And Edge isn't quite done yet. But I don't know. I wasn't feeling this segment building up to it.
Well, for one, there's no way Edge is done at a SmackDown. That it's not happening. I mean, Edge has more than deserved to go out at WrestleMania, 100%, especially if he's not injured right now. If he's just retiring and retire, it's not like he has to. So he's not. No chance. Secondly, this gave me like an AEW feeling where it's like you went too indie for me, too behind the scenes, too like you need like I didn't know Edge and Sheamus were friends other than they've wrestled about the same. Well, wrestled the same amount of time. I didn't.
And did we need to know that they were? That's the weird thing. Yeah.
And how does that pump me up for a match? I want to see Edge feud against some douche. Or if you're gonna do besties, then you should have brought Christian Cage back. I don't get any other routes for them to go with him. I don't know. I just wasn't. Other than the fact that these two can go, it's gonna be a banger. But why go that route? Why not have them come out and have Sheamus interrupt? And go full heel, or have somebody else come out. Why couldn't he have wrestled? I don't know. Can't wrestle Gunther, but just anybody else that could have come out and put a hurting on Edge, and Edge would have to, win or overcome or whatever. I don't get like the best friendy match, and if this truly was his last match, he wants to go out with best friendy mode. I don't see that happening. I didn't. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't like any of it. I mean, I thought it was fun and cool and have a good match. I just didn't like the approach of it as well. It was just kind of meh, like the bike stuff and. Like, that's probably the only time they've ever hung out. And you just happen to show that, and then you proclaim that's the reason why you came back. Like, is that really the reason?
It was all of it was just weird. That I mean, the whole bike stuff, and it just got a little too personal, and but not personal in a way where it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe he said that, and he brought his family into it, and like to the point where you want them to fight. It was just like, why are we having a match against each other? Well, and then Sheamus too. They shook hands and they hugged, and then Sheamus like pulled him back to him and said, "Let's hope you didn't make a mistake." And Edge was just kind of smirking. I don't know. The whole segment lost me, and it felt like they lost the crowd. I don't think the crowd was as invested. So it was a big miss for me. Big miss.
I agree. Another big miss. Are you ready? We're gonna go
sir.
All day with it. We've been talking about this guy. I've been a fan forever. Day one, I got into TikTok because of this man. I was promoting him and getting hate. He got a Money in the Bank. He cashed it in and failed. And I said they buried him. And I ate a shoe for that because they gave him the U.S. title and let him beat John Cena at Mania. And then you pointed out about a month ago that he has been not used properly, and he's been an awful U.S. champion. Austin Theory is supposed to defend his title against Santos Escobar, but he beat the snot out of him beforehand. Santos Escobar cannot wrestle. So what happens? Rey Mysterio steps in and not only wrestles him, but beats him and takes the title from him at 2 minutes and 39 seconds. He beat the U.S. champion for almost, 9 months? In less than 3 minutes. Rey Mysterio, the guy who wrestled when I was in high school. I'm 42, y'all. Rey Mysterio beat him in 2 minutes and 39 seconds. That's how you... So, okay. If you thought his title was pointless and so on, if you thought, then why not have... So, obviously, that just shows that the injury had to have been fake. This was planned. This wasn't like... Because then why would they have Santos get injured and have him... have Rey step in. So he was supposed to win, and
this was their way of going back to that.
Of getting it back or whatever, that it was legit, or I don't know. But either way, I'm just mind boggled for two reasons. One, where the hell does Austin Theory go? Because you buried him, then you gave him another chance, and then you kind of gave him a subpar U.S. title run, and then you have him lose to Rey Mysterio in 2 minutes and 39 seconds. He ain't winning that belt back. So, A, what are we doing with Austin Theory, shooting star? Where does he go from here? He's not going like most secondary champions go to the title. No. Secondly, the only good that can come from this, and I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going with it, the only good, and you predicted this, Now you brought it up. That can come for this is Ray versus Dirty Dom for the unification, with Dirty Dom winning and getting revenge against his dad and unifying that U.S. title and then NXT North American Championship, or winning both. That's, in my opinion, that's the only way this goes in a positive.
Yeah.
What say you? I thought this was just, and even if you're going to go that way, why have him lose in less than 3 minutes? I don't.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at all. And I thought before the match started, before this match even was a thing, I really liked how for a second there, I thought I was wrong about Austin Theory. I really like how they presented Austin Theory on SmackDown. You know, he was that dastardly heel that's, you know, beating up Escobar backstage and then taunting him in the back when Ray is checking on him and being like, "Oh, I'm really concerned about your friend." Like very like sarcastic. I'm like, yes, this is the Theory I want to see. And then Theory beating him down again when Escobar's making his entrance. I was like, yes, this is the Theory I want to see. And then Ray saying that he wanted in the match, and then Adam Pearce makes it happen. And then we saw the match happen in 2 minutes and 39 seconds with two 619s, a 619 in the back, and then the regular 619. And yeah, Rey Mysterio gets the win. And I was like, that's not the Austin Theory that I want to see. I have no idea what's next for Austin Theory, but I loved his presentation in the episode. It's just the outcome made no sense. I was like, that's the Theory I want to see, not the, and then they crapped on him and completely ended what I thought was a decent U.S. Championship reign that fizzled out right after WrestleMania. The win against John Cena did nothing for Austin Theory. The winning over Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins in the Elimination Chamber earlier this year, and Bronson Reed and all those guys, that did nothing for Austin Theory. And yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. Maybe he takes some time away and he becomes a babyface and he goes that way. I don't know, but I'm in full agreement. I want to see Ray versus Dom for either a unification match or the U.S. and North American Championship, and really let Judgment Day again control Monday Night Raw where they're drafted, and then dominate SmackDown because Dom has the U.S. title, and NXT because he has the North American Championship. That's what I want to see. That's what they got to make happen. But I don't think
rumor has it he was punished because of the John Cena match. That's what rumor has. That's what I've heard. You know, I hate the dirt sheets, but I caught it somewhere. And that's what it was, that the match was so underwhelming that they were like, "You're not that guy," and they just kind of.
It couldn't be because of John Cena not wrestling but once a year now, and but
maybe in the opening match. I don't know. Yeah, but
I did not like that at all, and I hate it for Theory because
Are we going 4 for 4 with bad news on this thing?
Yes.
Are we starting off hot? We are?
Yeah, we're gonna talk now the Bloodline segment.
Oh, wearing the shirt. All right, let's go.
I'm gonna be honest, the whole segment at the very end of the show, I was looking forward to, you know, the celebration of Roman Reigns and reigning supreme, and this was the post SummerSlam SmackDown, so the first time we had seen Roman since SummerSlam. Jimmy had turned on Jey at SummerSlam and cost him the championship, and you know, Roman's coming out and he's, you know, cutting a promo and doing his typical long entrance and all that fun stuff, and then out comes Jimmy Uso, and Roman is, you know, talking to him, just, you know, you want a yacht, you want a boat, you want a yacht, you want a car, you want this, I can give you power, is that what you want? And Jimmy's basically saying, I don't want any of that. What I did had nothing to do with you. I want you to shut up. I don't even want to talk to you, just that kind of thing. And then Jey Uso came out, and Jay's just like, why'd you do it, Uso? Why'd you do it? And Jimmy Uso gives us I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. He did it for Jey. He turned on Jey for Jey. It's what he said.
His dad cut that promo.
Yeah, he said I did it
because
I love you, and I did it for us. I did it because I didn't want you to become him. And pointing to Roman Reigns, and I hated that. I was like, you had it. Like I was happy that Jimmy turned on Jey because I called it. and B, it made sense. It made sense that you had a year of Jey being disloyal to the bloodline, Jimmy taking the brunt of Roman's abuse because of Jey being gone from the bloodline, Jey being more loyal to Sami Zayn than he was to his own brother, Jey getting the title shot after Jimmy goes to the hospital, Jey becoming the right-hand man, and Jimmy not getting an opportunity. Like, it all made sense.
Mm-hmm.
But that was your reasoning, because you didn't want him to become Roman Reigns? Why don't you wait until after he wins the championship? And then I thought that's when that excuse would make sense. Hey, you won the championship. Now I'm going to super kick you when you're celebrating. And because I don't want you to become him, I want the title. I want to be tribal chief. Like, there's so many different ways they could have gone with it. And
yeah,
I hate to sound like that fan that's like, oh, they didn't do what I liked. They didn't do what I wanted them to do, so I hated this segment. But I actually thought the segment was good. I thought Roman Reigns did a good job acting. I thought, Roman was over there laughing at Jimmy the whole time, and Jey, and, I thought he did a great job there. His facial expressions are so amazing. But the Jimmy's excuse of why he did it was terrible. And then then it continued with, Roman is laughing at Jey. He thinks it's so funny. And in the middle of Roman even speaking, Jey super kicks Roman. Roman's knocked out. It was a hard super kick too. I was like, damn, got him good. Yeah. And then he gets on the mic and he tells Jimmy to come back here, because Jimmy was walking up the stage, getting ready to leave. He tells Jimmy to come back here. Jimmy comes back. He thinks like, oh, my brother's going to hug me. Like, why? Why would he hug you? You cost him the chance. Like, what? That was stupid. And instead of hugging Jey turns around and super kicks him. So Jimmy's knocked out. And then Jey looks at the camera and says, hey, yo, I'm out. I'm out the bloodline. I'm out of SmackDown. And I'm out the WWE. And then he says, deuces, ooses. Cool line. Thought that was great. But, and then he jumps into the crowd and he's like high-fiving the audience. He's smiling. I don't know. I wanted to see a little bit more emotion from Jey Uso. He just lost a shot at the Undisputed Championship. He's lost his family. Neither one of his brothers like him right now. Jimmy hates him. Solo doesn't want anything to do with him. Roman doesn't like him. He lost Sami Zayn. He's lost his tag team championships. And he's quitting the one thing that he's loved his whole entire life. And after he announces, hey, I'm quitting, he goes into the crowd and he's like smiling and shaking hands with the fans and high-fiving people. And was like, yeah, this is, and then like everyone's like, Jey. And he's like, just pandering to the crowd. And I thought this was a huge miss for me. I'm curious to see what happens. Is this when Jimmy gets his shine? Jimmy's going to take over, and this is going to setting up Jey versus Jimmy at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. But what's next for Roman Reigns? What does Solo go from here? Does Jimmy become a single superstar and we build him up, because we've seen what Jey can do? So now does Jimmy get a shot at Roman? Does Jimmy get a shot at Solo? Does Jimmy get to become the right-hand man? Is this like the rise of Jimmy Uso so Jey can take it all away from him? I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm not going to write it off yet because they've done nothing but impress me so far with the Bloodline storyline. But this was just a complete miss for me. The reasoning of why Jimmy turned on Jey was bad. Jey's acting, I didn't care for. I thought he should have showed a little bit more emotion, especially after he just lost the title and his brother, and just the execution of it all.
Like, this was the first time I've seen a Bloodline storyline that I didn't dig, like, whatsoever. I was kind of just meh. For one, just like you said, the beginning was good. Roman with the yachts and the everything else and telling Jimmy, but I liked the turn because I thought it was the next build, meaning now maybe Roman can move on, or maybe Solo will turn on Roman, and now we're going to get Jimmy versus Jey. Like, you're building something else new. So let's build up to this now. Brother versus brother, twins, tag team champs forever. They've been around since, 15 years now or so? Maybe not that long, but a long time. And it's
day
like,
one-ish.
Day one-ish. Yeah. And it's like, you had him come out and basically cut that. That was like we did this last second and we don't know yet, so let's just do this first and kind of see where it goes kind of stuff. And I really felt like this was the first time the Bloodline didn't have an angle or or not an angle, but
A
just
plan.
a direction, a plan.
Yeah.
A direction on where they're going next. And Jimmy didn't even cut it well. It didn't even seem passionate. It was just like, and the fact that he's like, yeah, I did it, kick my ass, I don't care. Like him, like just beat me up, I guess. Oh, I'll leave then. And then
yeah, and then
like
you want a hug? Yeah,
and then let's give me a hug. Oh, super kick. And then Jay does his line, deuces ooses. That's hilarious. But who retires and says I quit, and then the fans cheer him?
Yeah.
If he was really that much over, which I think he is, why were you high five? Like Shawn Michaels didn't go like, I'm out, retired, Edge, right? We gone, peace, and everyone was like, yeah, high fives. It was just like, if you quit, the crowd should have booed you and been like, no, or something.
That's what makes me think that
Roman. It was just stupid. The whole thing was stupid. Like, you're not quitting. Like, came out of flipping nowhere. Like, why? Like, and why are you quitting?
Yeah.
Why? Where did that? Like, what was the point?
Yeah, and the acting was one-dimensional, and it was just it makes me wonder if the crowd did not hear him talking to the camera. And that's the only thing I can think of is they thought, oh, here's a wrestler coming into the crowd, and he just super kicked Roman and he super kicked Jimmy. So maybe they didn't hear him.
He wasn't on the mic. You are right.
Yeah, and looking at the camera. So maybe they didn't. But still, he was kind of pandering to them too. He was high-fiving them. He was, fist bumping people and, walking out and doing the deuces. So he kind of played into it a little bit, but I wonder if the crowd didn't hear what he had to, didn't hear that he actually quit until afterwards, but still.
But either way, it still made it stupid, and they should have said it out loud instead of saying it on the. So But
SmackDown was a miss, man. The whole episode was just, huh? That's what I said after almost every segment was, huh?
But let's go into Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to start off again with a miss. So, like I said, this week in wrestling. We'll wait till AEW. It's just like a sinking ship in wrestling this week. I want to talk about Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, and I high praise the banana out of this. The way they were pushing Zoe Stark with it, the way Trish got the win and Zoe got a win, and even though Becky got one, but ever since they decided to not have them wrestle at SummerSlam, and that promo happened with the whole I'll tattoo you on my chest and blah, 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 this has really gotten stale, and the crowd didn't even seem to like it. They seemed to be uninterested in it. This match was a huge miss, and not only was I disappointed at the fact that if you're going to skip it for SummerSlam, skip it for SummerSlam. But at least give it to us what Backlash is next or whatever, or Fastlane.
Payback,
Payback, whatever. I think those are the other, I don't know. But okay, so Payback. And that makes sense. She's going to pay back, right? But why have them wrestle then if you were just going to get him there? And so this match ends in a double count out, okay? That the crowd I don't even think anyone knew the ref was even counting. All of a sudden it was like ding, ding, ding. And it was like, because they were kind of fighting off to the side. I don't think they were showing the ref counting. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Maybe I was like not that interested and I wasn't paying attention, but they double counted out. And then they decided to go into the stadium or whatever, where the snack bar is and wherever else they were back in the crowd and had a match. And then Zoe Stark decides to interfere. And then they kind of get like the comeuppance. Like, I don't know if this payback for the lemonade line. I don't know if Triple H is really mad. If you guys didn't hear about that, Becky Lynch posted a pretty sexy picture of herself, like holding like a lemon, saying like, when you're not whatever, you use lemons to make lemonade or whatever that dumb line is. You probably know it better than I. And Triple H then had the press conference and was like, well, sometimes you got to take the lemons and make lemonade or something like, I don't know. I'm definitely butchering it, but it was something in the sense. And then she was on Raw drinking lemonade. And so I don't know if this is like real, fake. I know Triple H is down with the, stuff outside and making it personal and not caring, but it just, I don't know what's happening with this and why have it be so basically you've had Trish win, Zoe Stark win, you had Becky beat Zoe Stark, and then you have a count out. So Trish and them are still done. So even if Trish loses to Becky at payback, what does it's still 1-1, it's still, they're still even. So are we still going on? And this feud is just so, it was hot, and now I'm telling you, it lost steam. Skipping at SummerSlam was a really bad idea. It needed to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
This was just a huge miss for me. The double countout was a huge miss. Double countouts are always a huge miss unless it's necessary. It was not necessary. I'm very confused on what they're doing with Trish and Becky, and it needs to end. This is another thing where I'll get into NXT where it's like, end it already. Like, let's just move on.
Yeah, the double count out made no sense. And I actually kind of dug the fight though, and the brawl and the into the crowd and in the backstage and at the merch table. And
The merch table. They're
like throwing like, I don't know what they were throwing at me, but like Trish Stratus was like throwing t-shirts at
but she was like missing. It was like the fans were probably like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I got a free shirt. Yeah. But like Becky was like overselling it. She was like, oh, ow, oh,
yeah,
like
oh,
it's like
a squishmallow. Yeah, like
that really hurt. Ow, who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Yeah.
But man, like the count out was dumb. Zoe Stark interfering in the hood was stupid.
Why was she in a hood? Like, she's not a mysterious, like.
Yeah, like
obviously.
the match was over. Yeah, the match was over, and so it's not like you had to be discreet about who that was in the hood. Yeah, it just I didn't get it.
Who would it be? They're literally a team.
I know. I did not understand it, and now, you know, whenever this match takes place, if it's at Payback, if it's next week on Raw, if it's at whenever, but it's going to be inside of a steel cage. So
they announced that.
I'm kind of excited about that. But the last time Becky Lynch was on the steel cage, the match lasted like 15 seconds. I think it was against Bayley or somebody like that. But it was on Raw 1000 or whatever. But or Raw 30 years of Raw. But yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. Moving it from SummerSlam made it lose its steam. SummerSlam was supposed to be, you know, the culmination of this feud, and instead it's just extending it now. And like you said, it's going to be 1-to-1 to 1-to-1, and who cares? You know, like whoever wins the steel cage match, is it like is it done after that? Are they moving on? I don't know, but I think they should. I think it's time to move on. And you know, I love Trish Stratus. She still got it, and I hope this isn't her last hurrah in the WWE. I hope her run continues, but they got to end this feud somehow. And like you said, moving it from SummerSlam really caused it to lose steam.
Yeah, and it better not be the end of Trish. So.
No, yeah. So I want to talk.
Positive? Are we getting a positive?
I think we might get a positive / negative.
Right, let's see.
So Chad Gable. I am super high on Chad Gable right now. I told you guys last week's episode that we're gonna do. You have the Dom Dom fan club. I'm in the Chad Gable fan club. I mean, this man, he was Shorty G for a while, and he was an enhancement talent, and then he formed the Alpha Academy, or then he was like teaming with Jason Jordan for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kurt Angle should have been his illegitimate. He should have been Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, but instead it was Jason Jordan. And Jason Jordan disappeared, and Chad Gable kind of fell off. Then he became Shorty G. So yeah, Chad Gable has been poorly used over the years, and now he's starting to be taken more and more seriously. This guy has taken the Alpha Academy, which was, you know, more of a comedy gimmick than anything, and has turned it into something. He's turned it into gold. He's another guy like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn that they have this knack of turning chicken shit into chicken salad. And Chad Gable did that with the Alpha Academy. It wasn't supposed to get as popular as it is. The shush and thank you. Like that was all supposed to be heel stuff. And you know, they had the segment with RK Bro, where they did the Jeopardy challenge, and like
that was so good.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, and Chad Gable is starting to be recognized as a true superstar in the WWE, and he is now the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther. And I loved the one-upsmanship that each guy did on Raw this week. So we saw a Chad Gable match against Giovanni Vinci of Imperium, which Chad Gable got the victory. And then immediately after that match, we saw Gunther challenge Otis to a one-on-one match, to which Gunther got the victory over Otis and powerbombed him. Yep. I was like, how is he? I mean, that was a vicious powerbomb. And I love the one-upsmanship. I love that Chad Gable came and checked on Otis after the match and stared down Gunther. So I love what they're doing with Chad Gable. I love what they're doing with Gunther. Now, here's where I have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Their match is next week on Raw. Why is this match not at a pay-per-view? Now, I'm willing to see it through. I'm willing to see what happens. Maybe there's shenanigans that come into effect. Maybe there's something that happens that causes it to be moved to Payback or whatever. But next week on Raw, Chad Gable is going up against Gunther. So it makes me think that I'm in the camp that Chad Gable should end Gunther's reign as IC champion, but only after Gunther ends or surpasses the Honky Tonk Man. And he'll get there at Payback. I think he surpasses it after the day after Payback or something, or at Payback or the day before. So he can surpass it then. And then Chad Gable can take the IC title off of him. But if they're wrestling next week on Raw, that tells me Chad Gable's not winning. And maybe there's a rematch at Payback, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of this match being on TV. I feel like Chad Gable's earned a pay-per-view match, a high-profile pay-per-view match, and it should not be next week on Raw. It should be at the pay-per-view instead.
Well, it really feels like the WWE is in a time where they have too much talent. And I have talked about this off record to you and to my friend Patrick and other people I talk wrestling about, is that, you know, we are more stacked now than we were in the Attitude Era. And I truly believe that. And SummerSlam was a perfect example of that you had so much talent and former champs that didn't even make the card. You know what I mean? Trish and Becky and, you know, the list goes on. The list goes on and on and on. These people did not have matches. And it's like, it's because we're at this time. And I think WWE is trying to do that again to where, you know, not so much like AEW, because AEW doesn't have pay-per-views enough. So they have to give away and have good talent on matches on Dynamite and Collision. But I think they want to give this away to kind of push those ratings, to get that Raw rating up. And I agree with you, man. Chad Gable is it. He's ripped. He dedicated. You know, the shush thing is whatever. Yeah. But he is good, man. He is good. He can cut a promo. The shush thing is just his thing. Like, oh, and that. But, like, look how over he has made Otis. Look how much over he's made Maxine Dupree. And I did this comparison on TikTok probably about a month and a half ago, where I did a duet with them. And I said that they remind me of the New Day, where they started off as heels, 3 people, and they were annoying. But they were so damn talented and so damn funny that they became baby faces. And that's exactly, I don't know if you remember the New Day, but they were like bad guys. They were kind of like churchy, weren't they? They were they were religious and Bible thumpers and this and that. And then all of a sudden, now look where they are 80 years later, still live and well. You know, they just had a match recently without Big E, but a match nonetheless as a New Day. And it's like, this is how I see the Alpha Academy. And I hope that if Chad win or lose, we can talk about that later on today in our segments, but that I think that he needs to stay with the Alpha Academy. And if he does become a singles champion or a superstar, they need to keep Otis and Maxine Dupree with him and let them continue to run with it, because it's good and it's only getting them over. If Chad Gable moved on or did something like that, not turn, but, you know, became a single star and got too big for them, I think it would hurt Otis and Maxine. Yeah. So I did like it. And I like during this too, one of my favorite parts about this segment was Ludwig. Ludwig, is that what it is? The good-looking skinny one. Ludwig, yeah.
Ludwig Kaiser, yeah.
The one who says the ring. I loved listening to him talk to Maxine about how they are like perfect specimens and they need to have babies together because they would be like whatever, out perfect children and this and that. And the whole match, he's like winking at her and like standing tall and like flirting with her. I just liked everything of the dynamic about it. I like that Gunther that they lost and Gunther, and got through the challenge and wanted to beat, you know, Otis, and Otis can take that L. It's fine. It's Gunther. I liked everything about that segment. So to me, I think it was a win. I think it's a win nonetheless, no matter what the outcome is at the end. So
I know. I don't like the fact that the match is on Raw next week. I wish that. And again, I'm going to see it through. I'm not. It's not that much of a negative. It's just because it's called Payback for a reason. So maybe something will happen that costs Chad Gable, and then he wants to get his revenge, and so maybe that's what happens. So I'm going to see it through. But if this is it, and then
because they can have a fluky and
but if this is it, and they move on after this to Gunther versus somebody else, or Gunther doesn't defend the title at Payback or something, then I'm going to be kind of disappointed.
Well, that's the same way I feel about the next segment I want to talk about. So positives and negatives.
The last thing that I want to talk about
no, it's my turn, right? My turn.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you talked about you brought up Gable and right?
Yeah.
My turn. Am I cutting out or are you cutting out?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
You're good. You're good now.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I am. I was looking.
Me?
I was like, it says I have full bars. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, that's why you were jumping. Got it. You thought I disappeared. All right. So, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
We're good? All right.
Good.
I wanted to talk about Cody and Finn, the main event. So, catch up to it. JD McDonough tried to talk to Judgment Day. Damian Priest ain't having it. It's basically like, get out of my face, kid. Finn Balor's like, hey, calm down. Rhea's like, we all need to be on the same page. And they both literally full-blown agreed that they are good. We are besties. Judgment Day will rule all. JD even saved them and beat up on Sami Zayn, then lost to him later on, but still got revenge and kicked his butt. I don't know why he lost. What was the point of that? But they're hitting at all things. So we have Cody versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor right now is the king of taking L's. He is going to act like a badass, be a leader of the best faction in the business, and then lose matches whenever he wants to have a match. And he fought Cody. And I thought, okay, Finn's not going to win, but let's get like a fluky finish, something that can help Finn, maybe not a finish. Maybe let's utilize a double count out. But instead, we get Dom throwing in a chair, to which Finn Balor gets caught, then literally throws his dude under the bus and said, he did it, not me, to thus then the ref being distracted and the briefcase being slid to Finn Balor, which in 100% British, old school British comedies, like, it goes under his legs, and Finn's like, duh, as Cody gets it, and as Finn is in shock that he could not catch a briefcase because he was 75 minutes late to bend down to pick it up. Cody Rhodes banks him with the briefcase, gets the pin. Judgment Day is still kind of standing together in confusion. They're not like fight. It was just an all around, just like, are we breaking up? Are we not? If Finn keeps losing, are they going to kick him out? Is JD replacing him? Is JD going to join the group? And I get these are all good things. So that's what I'm saying. These can be positives because maybe they're going to grow from this. But to me, Shooting Star Press, this is what I think is going to happen. I think this is leading to Damian leaving. I think Finn Balor is going to cost Damian his cash in. And I think damn Damian Priest is not going to cash in. I think he's going to try against Seth, maybe against Nakamura, and Finn is going to interrupt and cost him, and that's going to be the end. And I think they're going to kick him out, Damian Priest, and it's going to be Finn and JD added into the group. I think that's where we're going, and I think it's going to be a huge mistake. I'm just saying it. I think they need to all stay together. I think they need to get over whatever's going on, even if it leads to Damian losing, and that's where all this led to, but then they stay together and we can grow from it. But people who have lost their briefcases are not future superstars. No offense to Austin Theory. Like, look at the list of them. Damian so, I mean, you can't, I mean, Baron Corbin, Otis, what has he done? Otis, like, these are, like, you can't have him. Luke, Mr. Kennedy, you can't have him, he didn't lose, but he lost the briefcase. I mean, you just can't. I'm just not for it. Minus John Cena, the only guy to ever lose his briefcase, or not cash in and be a superstar, but he was already a superstar and should never even won it to begin with. But I don't know where this is going. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like it. What say you, or what's happening with this?
Yeah, it's watch, rinse, repeat with the Judgment Day. It feels like it's the same thing every week. Finn Balor does not know we talked about this last week. The briefcase is kryptonite to the Judgment Day. The briefcase is absolute. Like, I don't know what to do with this briefcase. And then Cody Rhodes using it to hit Finn Balor to get the pin. It was kind of a cheap way for Cody, Mr. Clean Cut, Mr. Good Guy. Cheap way for him to get the win too. But and then Sami Zayn came out at the end, and the Judgment Day stood tall, and they participated in the post-match beatdown of Sami Zayn. Put Sami Zayn through a table. They beat down Cody Rhodes afterwards, so they looked good.
That's what I mean. But
let's move on to let's get to the meat of this story, and let's get to it. If we're gonna break up, break up. If we're gonna add JD McDonough, bring him on. If you're gonna kick Damian Priest out, kick him out. But it feels like we're kind of doing the same thing ever since Money in the Bank. It's the same thing every week on Monday Night Raw with the Judgment Day, the briefcase,
same people too.
The tension.
Cody and Sami.
Cody and Sami. And I get that KO's hurt, so they got to have something for Sami to do. but it just I don't know. I think kicking Damian Priest out is a huge mistake for the Judgment Day. I think adding JD McDonough, okay, I maybe I can see it, but I just think just keep them together. What's wrong with just keeping them together? Why do all the factions? We talk about this all the time, but all the factions in the WWE seem to all have tension at the exact same time. You got the Bloodline blowing up, Judgment Day exploding, Gunther's getting mad at Imperium, Damage Control. There was tension there.
They seem better now.
Yeah, they seem better now that they're. But there was there for a little while. But yeah, I'm not. I love what they're doing with Dom Dom. I love what they're doing with Rhea. But this whole Damian Priest, it almost makes me wish that he didn't win the briefcase. And I thought him winning the briefcase was the right decision, and I stand by that. But how they're booking him and Finn post that makes me wish that somebody else had gotten that briefcase, because I don't like what they're doing with it.
Well said. Well said. All right, now you can go to your last thing.
Yeah, the last thing for me, what we talked, you brought it up briefly was the moment of Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Michael Cole's interviewing Shinsuke in the ring, and English is not Shinsuke's first language, and I appreciate that and I understand that, but this whole segment was a miss for me too. Michael Cole asked Shinsuke why he attacked Seth Rollins last week, and basically he said something in Japanese, and then Seth Rollins came out and he basically gave him, he was like, if you wanted a title match, all you had to do was ask. You didn't have to go and assault me. You could have just asked, and I'm a fighting champion. And so he gives him a title match. And that's it. That's the segment. And then after the segment, Shinsuke Nakamura takes him out again. And that's it. That's our World Heavyweight Championship feud at Payback. It's Shinsuke versus Seth Rollins. And I thought there could have been more. They could have gone in, because they kept talking about how these guys were they're friendly, like what Edge and Sheamus were doing on SmackDown. They've been talking about how these guys have respected each other for years, and they've always had each other's backs, and they've always looked out for each other. That's how commentary was building it up, that these guys are longtime friends in the WWE. So that's why it was so shocking when Shinsuke did what he did. Why couldn't we dig into that a little bit more? Why couldn't we? Let's make me hate Shinsuke Nakamura. Instead, it was just, I want a title shot, and so I had to do what I had to do to get it, and that's it. And Seth Rollins was like, "Oh, all you had to do was ask, buddy," and now you got the match. And then it was, the whole segment ended too with awkwardly, because Shinsuke whispered something to Seth Rollins, and you could see he was doing this little laugh, and then he just kind of stopped and looked. I don't know if he looked shocked, he looked scared, he looked petrified of something, but we don't know what he whispered. Maybe that's going to be the story going into Monday Night Raw next week, is what did he say to Seth Rollins that has him a little freaked out. But yeah, this was a big miss for me. Big time miss.
I agree. It was like the Bloodline ending all over again, where it's like, why'd you do it? Oh, for no reason? Cool.
Yeah.
Like he basically spoke in Japanese, which is fine. And then, but when he said his English part and he announced it, he basically said, "For the title." So
that's it.
You what? And then a guy who just got kicked in the face and betrayed was just like, "All you do is ask." It was all dumb. And the sad part is that I'm pumped for Shinsuke. He came out one time and interrupted Roman, and we thought that was next, and then they just ignored it. Shinsuke deserves this. It's fun. Sad part is he's going to lose again, because, Seth ain't losing to Shinsuke. So it's sad that Shinsuke is going to get another lost title shot, but I do like seeing it. But once again, like you said, if you're going to do it, turn him heel. Don't have him half-ass it. Let him be a damn heel and go with it. Why? Like, we're going to do babyface, but one of the babyface a little bit I don't know. I don't like where they're going with it. Like I said, this week in WWE, it was all just kind of a miss for me. And continuing it, let's continue at Shooting Star. NXT,
let's do it, man.
Got something from NXT. Man, I thought, you know what? NXT's been hot. We got Dom. They were like, we'll bring him and Rhea out for 10 seconds so they can challenge two people for no reason for next week. So instead, we've really got some, you might have a hit, but I got to talk about this. We open up with the new champs, Tony D'Angelo and his family, the two tag team champs, versus the Dyad from Schism. And the Dyad's about to lose again. That's what they do. They're there to lose tag team matches. Do. But actually, they're getting comeuppance. They're actually putting it to Tony D and them and actually beating him. I actually thought it was a good match. My thing was that they brought out a whole bunch of random Schism fans en masse. After a couple weeks ago or last week, they just complained that these people were interrupting and cutting in, and then we got the Creed brothers. And so, for those of you who don't know, the Dyad got their only win in the last 14 years against the Creed brothers a few weeks ago. And basically, they beat the Creed brothers. Creed brothers had to quit NXT. Ever since then, we all thought, you know what? Maybe we're going to get the Creed brothers on Raw. We're going to get the Creed brothers on NXT. They're ready. They're more than talented enough. They're a great tag team. They got the skill. They got the mic skills. They got everything you need. They're polished. And instead, we had them at a fake beach where they openly admitted they were at a fake beach because one said they were in Hawaii, one said they were in Florida. And then this week, they interrupted again. Well, they did. So 2 Schism masked people cost the Dyad the match. And basically, Dyad loses. And they're all confused on what's happening. And we are getting the Creed brothers versus the Dyad, I guess, again, for who knows why. And what I brought this up and what I'm upset about is that you constantly talk about how the draft was so pointless. You did the draft to split people up, and then you basically just ignored it. And now every single week we get everybody everywhere. This is the same thing. What was the point of having a retirement match or a match that kicked them out of NXT if they literally were not even going to leave? And it's not like you have them on SmackDown and you're doing the whole Johnny Gargano double shift thing. No, they've just never showed up, and now they're just on NXT, costing the Dyad a match. So are they going to get revenge and beat the Dyad at Heatwave and then go to... I'm just so confused on what the heck. If I was the Dyad, I'd be furious. I'd be like, yo, Shawn Michaels, what's the point of even signing a contract? We're just going to let them come back after we beat them. Literally pointless. Yeah. That would be like if I was a champion and I lost, I'd be like, nah, Shawn. If they can lose in a retirement match and come back, I'm just going to come back as champ because I didn't lose that belt. Like, what's the point of a contract if you're not going to follow through with the outcome?
CM Punk?
Oh, God, we'll get there. But yeah. So, yeah, basically. But are you with me on this? Was it still? I mean, the match itself was good. I just don't like what the heck they're doing with this.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand why the Creed brothers aren't. The tag team division on the main roster is in need of a huge shift, and they need some depth. And the Creed brothers would have been perfect for that to help with that depth because you have Pretty Deadly, but one of the guys in Pretty Deadly is hurt right now. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, your tag team champions, haven't defended the titles in quite a while, and Kevin Owens is hurt, and Sami Zayn's elbow looks like a tennis ball. And and then you have the Street Profits that they're turning heel, and they're with Bobby Lashley now, but I don't think they're going after the titles. And you have the New Day wanting a title shot against the randomly thrown together team of Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre. So the Creed brothers could have injected some life into the tag division on the main roster, and I think it would have made perfect sense since they had to leave NXT. Where do they go after they leave NXT? SmackDown or Raw. And who can they face on SmackDown or Raw? Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, the tag team champions, or they can get a title shot against the tag team. Something. So I'm in complete agreement that they just showed back up at 2 weeks after their match in NXT. What was the point of the loser leaves NXT match if they just get to come back right away? This was a miss for me. I was not feeling this at all.
Nope. I mean, I'm over it too. Another feud that needs to end.
And Schism is just they need to break up. They need to.
What a waste.
Yeah, because they were so good, so good. And then the last thing I want to talk about on NXT is, and maybe this is a positive, so we can end it on a positive note, but Carmelo Hayes and Wes Lee. I kind of felt like the whole thing was rushed a little bit because you had Wes Lee and Dijak had a number one contendership match earlier in the night. And Wes Lee became the number one contender. And then later on that night, there's a contract signing with Wes Lee and Carmelo Hayes. And it's like, okay, you're doing all this on the same night when he just became number one contender. Usually you wait a week, but I know Heatwave's next week, so they wanted to get to it. So felt a little bit rushed, but I actually thought the promo from Wes Lee was really, really good. It almost made him, I know he's supposed to be the heel in this situation, but he almost came across as the sympathetic babyface. I think he could dethrone Carmelo Hayes. I think he legitimately can. And I know we said that about Baron Corbin, and we said that about Braun Breaker. We said it about everybody that Dragunov. We said it about everybody that Carmelo Hayes has faced. That this could be it. But I really think Wes Lee could do it. I just don't know if Heat Wave is the right time to do it. I feel like that needs to happen at a bigger event. Heat Wave is just a random NXT Tuesday night event. It's not like a pay-per-view or anything. So maybe they wait. Maybe Carmelo Hayes gets the win here, but Wes Lee gets the win at the next big event. But I think Wes Lee is the guy. I think that's the reason he dropped the North American Championship. I think they want to propel him up. Shawn Michaels is a big believer in Wes Lee. And I think Carmelo Hayes is going to be a part of this Bobby Lashley faction with the Street Profits, because they've shown him backstage with Bobby Lashley a few times, and we haven't really seen them together since. And I think once Carmelo Hayes loses, he's going to go to SmackDown and team up with Bobby Lashley and those guys, and Wes Lee can carry the tradition of being the NXT champion. So I'm excited about the match. I liked the segment at the end. I thought it was a good way to end the show. And but yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the number one contendership match and then a contract signing all in one night. I thought they could have spaced it out a little bit.
Yeah, and Wes Lee and Carmelo is going to be money. And I have been saying for a while that I think Carmelo just needed to win the title because he deserves it. My man, Dad Hat. What's good?
What's up, Dad
Haven't seen him in a while. What's
Carolina
up,
boy?
Hat Wrestling.
Yes,
my man, up late. And I thought he should be dethroned just because I thought he just needed to win it. He deserved it. He was running NXT forever. Carmelo is the man, but he is so ready for the big stage. And just like we were talking about Austin Theory, how he lost and what are you going to do with them? This is exactly why you lose a secondary title. You lose it because you're next up for the main belt. Same thing should happen with Gunther. As soon as he loses it, he's next up for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's what you do. You build them up. They lose it so they can continue to grow. Just like you lose the NXT Heavyweight Championship and you move on to the big show. It's your next thing, right?
Yeah.
So I do think Wes Lee's going to be the one to the throne. Will it happen at Heat Wave? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe why not get some rain? It's not like it matters. Carmelo's going to recover no matter what. But I agree with you with the segment, him and Dijak, and then you got right into it. But their segment's been good. They have similar style, similar look. I think they're going to bang. I think they're going to go for it. I think the match is going to be a 5-star Dave Meltzer match. I think it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. And Melo don't miss, bro. So we'll see. No. But I want him to miss this time because I do want him to go to Smack. And I would love him to join Bobby Lashley's crew. That would be dope. dope. All right, man.
That's
the weekend review. That's the weekend review. So what is next, Mr. Shooting Star Press?
So it is segment time on our show, and we're gonna introduce, or not introduce, because we've been doing this segment a bunch of times, but we got some theme music for this segment, and we're gonna give our unpopular opinions. So check this out; it's pretty dope. But let me set it up real quick.
We going big, man.
Unpopular opinion, trying to get them. They ain't hating, just listen. If you don't agree, man, they get it. They gon' say it with their chest, even if you upset. They can take the heat, none of this get some stress. This is something they been holding in. Two dudes ain't afraid to tell them what it is. And you might even agree. So open up your minds, come and listen to the team.
Our man, dude.
Yeah, Rich Latta, man, delivers yet again. He's the guy who wrote our theme song, the intro for both WWE and our AEW episode, and now he's bringing the heat for Unpopular Opinion. So it's a
man. We're blowing up when we got theme music for everything now. We got intro music now. We got intro music for our segments. Unpopular opinion, and what it is basically exactly what Rich said. It's exactly what it is. It's an unpopular opinion that might make some people upset. It's something that we think that should happen in the wrestling world in the future that probably the majority of the world of fans do not believe. So with that said, as always, we're going to start off with the most handsome one of the bunch. So Shooting Star Press, you may go first.
All right.
What is we got 2 weeks. Let's do this. Let's go.
Okay. Unpopular opinion.
Yes, sir.
And don't at me, Two Dudes Wolfpack. Don't at me for this. But Cody Rhodes should not win the 2024 Royal Rumble, and Cody Rhodes should not wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. That's it. That's my unpopular opinion.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to see Cody near. I just don't see it. I don't want to see back-to-back Rumble winners. I don't think Cody needs to dethrone Roman. I think his story is on Raw. I know he's talking about all finishing the story and winning the belt that his father never got, but I don't know. I just don't want him to dethrone Roman. I don't think Cody's the guy. I think it needs to be, I've said this a bunch of times, but I think it needs to be a star-making moment to whoever does dethrone Roman. Somebody, an up-and-comer, somebody that can get a rub from it. Like I thought Roman Reigns should have been the one to end the streak of The Undertaker over Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar was already an established star. Cody Rhodes is already an established star. The fans love Cody. He's one of the most over baby faces on the roster. Everybody loves Cody. He's already established. So let's let somebody else dethrone Roman Reigns. Who that is, I don't know, but I don't think it should be Cody. I don't think his presentation to me is just. I'm not feeling it. He's getting the Cena treatment where he's unbeatable, and
yes, he is.
He's getting too much exposure. We didn't see a lot of Cody this week on Raw. Maybe Triple H is listening to us because they keep copywriting strikes on our videos when we post them.
Yes, but they do.
So maybe they're listening to us, but I want to see a young up and comer. I would like a Carmelo Hayes to dethrone Roman, or not Bobby Lashley, but maybe Montez Ford if they ever decide to push him. Somebody like that. I think it would be huge. Chad Gable, it would be huge for him. I know these are not realistic options of people that would do it. Maybe Braun Breaker does it when he comes up to the main. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. It should be a moment that makes a star, and it should not be Cody Rhodes because he's already established.
My man. So, in my opinion, that's not unpopular. So I agree that it is an unpopular opinion, but not in my eyes because I think we're on the same page with this. I'm going to die on my grave with this. I think it needs to be Jey Uso. He started it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
If it's not Cody, the only other person I can see it even kind of being is Gunther. And Gunther can use that by winning the Royal Rumble and then defeating Roman. I'm with you. I just think Roman now has been pinned. He's having the feud with the Bloodline. What are they doing with Jey? He's quitting, so he's got to be coming. They're keeping it going.
He's going to AEW. Haven't you seen the Jey Uso is all elite stuff?
Elite.
Yeah. He's all in.
Yeah, he just won't be welcomed on Collision. But yeah, they need to. Cody is just not. I just don't think he's that guy. At the end, I agree with you. I think we need to move. I think it needs to be someone else. If not Cody, Gunther and Jey, in my opinion, are the only two that can do it. That makes sense.
I think you can make an argument for LA Knight with how popular he is and how over he is, but I still think it's too soon for him too. But
I agree. It's going to be Brock Lesnar. All right.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Because he needs it. Yeah,
he does. He needs that rub. Sable's not giving him enough.
He's got a bright future ahead of him if he keeps this up.
I think he does. I think he might have some future in him. All right, you ready for mine? We already kind of touched base on it, but I'm glad we didn't go too into it. I tried to cut you off so we didn't have to. But my unpopular opinion, I 100% think Gunther should lose to Chad Gable and not break Honky Tonk Man's record.
Okay.
I truly do. I'm for it. That is my empire. I think Chad Gable would blow up if he got that win, even if it was by a fluky finish. Stopping Gunther, he would have that on his resume that he stopped him from breaking the record. He's that guy. He can beat Gunther again in a rematch. Gunther moves on to Seth Rollins, where he can beat Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins doesn't really need that title, and we can move on from it. And Chad Gable is an automatic star. I think they need to go with that. I think the WWE is trying too hard to break all the old records for some reason. I say we give a swerve. Let's do it. I'm all for it. That's my unpopular opinion.
No, I love it. I love that idea. I want to see it happen. And I think Gunther would be a good opponent for Cody Rhodes. If it is going to be Cody that's going to dethrone Roman, and we got to have the adversity of Cody Rhodes. Move on from Brock. He moves on to Gunther. And then after Gunther, he wrestles somebody else. So, but I don't think Cody's going after the IC title. In a way, I think the IC title might be holding Gunther back a little bit from these main event feuds. And you imagine if, especially, I want to look up when the date is that he's supposed to surpass the Honky Tonk Man. If it's like the day before or the week before, and Chad Gable takes it from him, I'm all in. I'm all in on it. I still think it should happen at a premium live event, but if it happens next week on Raw, that's great too. So I'm in that camp. I'm in your corner on that.
All right.
But I think that is an unpopular opinion. I think people want to see him surpass the Honky Tonk Man. And but yeah, I would love to see Chad Gable get that IC title.
I agree. All right, second one. You ready? Let's go.
Yes, sir. Okay. So this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna say that it might be time for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to lose the tag team titles. And I say that rocking a Sami Zayn shirt, the new Sami Zayn shirt.
Nice.
Yeah. I just feel like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are starting to lose their luster a little bit. Ever since WrestleMania, they've kind of gone downhill. And they had the moment at Night of Champions where they beat Roman and Solo for the tag titles in the main event. That was cool. But ever since Sami's been out of the bloodline, it just feels like there's really nothing for him. And I would love to see – I don't want to see the New Day beat him. I would love to see the new and improved Street Profits take him out and win the tag team titles off of them. And because they were the first ones that wrestled Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on the Raw after WrestleMania for the newly won tag team titles. And that was when they were baby faces. So now you have them as heels going after against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think you establish their dominance early by having them win the tag team titles from them. Maybe Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn either continue being a tag team and trying to win the titles back, or they go their separate ways again. But I know Kevin Owens is hurt, so I'm willing to give everything a pass, but it just feels like Sami Zayn is missing something now. And yes, he's missing his partner, but the blood he injected new life into the bloodline story. He had that great, incredible moment at the Rumble this year. He had the probably match of the year. My favorite match of the year so far is Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber. But ever since WrestleMania, when they beat the Usos, it's just kind of I talk about Austin Theory and how after WrestleMania, his U.S. title reign kind of took a nosedive. I kind of feel that way about the tag titles and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And these guys main evented night one of Mania. So I think it might be time for them to lose the tag team titles, as much as that pains me to say.
Yeah, I'm once again, another unpopular opinion that I think is an unpopular opinion that I'm going to agree with. And it's sad to say, too, because we need more tag teams, but I think it's hurt them. And I know KO's been injured, but even before then, man, I think they're not tag team wrestlers, for one. And there's so many actual tag teams right now in the WWE that can get a push. Let's let these young guns get a thing, bring the Creed brothers over. You got Pretty Deadly. You got even the New Day back in it. You got the Imperium. You got so many tag teams that can be going on. Why have it wasted on two people who should be solo stars? And I think it's hurt them too. I don't think Sami gets his loudest pops, KOs. They're kind of doing their thing. But I mean, I think that's a good idea. I think they need to lose them. They should have won them at Mania and lost them a couple months later anyway. They were just there to break up the bloodline and put the cracks in it. And they did that purpose. Move on. Let's continue on to them. They can still be together, but just wrestle solo. So, yeah,
exactly.
All right, my last one. There's a lot of rumors going around right now. A lot about the return of Bray Wyatt, why he left, making people feel guilty that he did have a whole bunch of injury issues, mental issues, other things. This is legit. He's supposed to be coming back. It derailed him. So, should Bray Wyatt return? My unpopular opinion is that I think he should return once again as the Fiend. I think it can work. I think if done properly with Triple H and you don't make him too stupid matches, just have him be the Fiend, do the Firefly Funhouse, go back and watch his return. That is the loudest pop I've ever heard to this day. Louder than Sammy's, louder than, and this is the loudest pop I have ever, louder than CM Punk and Adam Cole. I was there for the Adam Cole, this is the loudest. I've watched this video recently a few times. I don't know why. It popped up on my YouTube, and I've been watching it. It is an insane return. The Fiend works. It's just once they get him, they don't use him correctly. They kind of they use him as this futuristic. He's unbeatable, but now he's wrestling matches, and he's not. It's just weird how they do it. I think they need to bring him back as the Fiend. The Fiend works. He goes back and forth as Bray Wyatt. We'll have some matches as Bray Wyatt. And then when he gets teed off into the point, the Fiend comes out of him, and then he wrestles as the Fiend, and kind of like what Finn Balor was doing with the Demon. I think he needs to come back as the Fiend. I think the music's dope. I think the character's dope. I think that mask is dope. Get rid of Uncle Howdy. Get rid of all the other characters. Just go back to how he was, where he was with Alexa Bliss before he had his last.
Before Vince McMahon got into it and ruined him. Yeah, no, this has always been my favorite version of Bray Wyatt. Is everyone loves the Wyatt family, the cult leader Bray Wyatt. The Fiend was the Mr. Rogers character with "Hi everybody" and we're really glad that you're our friend. Loved all that's the best version of Bray Wyatt. And then the mask was on point. The theme music was great. His presentation was on fire. Like everything was great with Bray Wyatt. And
I agree.
When he came back, it was too many. It was like the TV show Lost. Too many questions, not enough answers. And then next time he came out, we had more questions and we weren't getting any answers and people were getting bored with it. We don't have any questions with the Fiend. We know who the Fiend is. We've seen the Fiend. We want to see him come back. And I wouldn't mind seeing him go against Cody Rhodes. I wouldn't mind seeing him go against Sami Zayn. I wouldn't mind seeing him go against Roman Reigns. Something. But we got to bring the Fiend back. Maybe he goes against AJ Styles. Maybe he teams with Karrion Kross. I don't know. But I feel like the Fiend would inject some life into both Monday Night Raw and or SmackDown. And maybe he's the leader of the Judgment Day. Maybe he's the one that brings it all together. I don't know. But I definitely want to see the Fiend come back. And not Bray Wyatt, not cult leader Bray Wyatt, not Uncle Howdy Bray Wyatt, not whatever the Bray Wyatt we just saw was split personalities, Wyatt 6. I don't want to see. I want to see the Fiend, and I think that's the best version of Bray. It's still the best version of Bray so far. So bring him back.
Bring him back. Let's go.
And keep him out of the title picture. That's another thing.
Yes. That's just like the other. He doesn't need the title. Just let him be a dominant force, beat people. Yeah.
That ruined him when he beat Seth Rollins to win that title, and then like Hell in a Cell was like a no contest. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need the title. No.
Just let him be an unbeatable force. The end. Yeah, but he has to wrestle. He can't just talk and not wrestle.
No.
All right. We did it. That's the end.
Yes,
WWE.
Sir.
That was probably our most negative WWE episode ever, but it is what it is. Triple H.
Quite a while.
Step your game up, brah. Step it up.
Do better. Yeah. Step your game. I like the pun.
Yeah. Step your game up. Anyway, keep following us. Keep adding us. We're blowing up on YouTube. We're doing big things. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Keep up the good support, the comments, everything you're doing, telling people. And as always, I'm Mr. MWO, the dude of Wrestle Talk. And with me, as always, is
the honorary dude, Mr. Shooting Star Press, PRS, on TikTok. We're on Instagram. One thing to note, if you agree with the take or you disagree or you want to give your unpopular opinion, we have an email address and we want to hear from y'all. And it's 2dudeswithattitudespodcast@gmail.com. And I know we were a little negative on the WWE today, but we're affiliated with the WWE shop now. So we have a link, and there's going to be a link in the description of this video. There's going to be a link in all the show notes on Spotify and everything. You go to that link. Yes, we'll get a little bit of a cut, but everything that you guys give us will go right back into the show. So, you buy your merch from the WWE shop like you normally would, but we would just get a little piece of that. So, appreciate all the love and support. Keep it up. And that's it.
Yeah. And we do that. We rock a shirt every single episode.
Oh yeah.
I spend so much money on shopwwe.com. So let's do it, man.
So click that link. It'll take you to WWE shop like it normally would. And you get all the discounts, you get all the free shipping whenever they do it, all that fun stuff. So
you want to buy a shirt anyway. So just buy it through our link. Easy.
Exactly. Yes, sir. But that's our episode this week. Two dudes.
Wolf back. Let's go.
We're out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent. Two dudes with attitudes, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen and the best.